awfully. My throat kind of hurts. Okay, I don't know why my webcam decides it's not gonna work. Okay, here we go. So, hi Jazzy. I don't know how this is gonna work out. Yeah, I'm sick. So, let's get this settled up there. Okay. Just move quick. And it stopped again. Okay, OBS hates me. Just a lot. Hey, duck. Okay. Hi, Jazzy. I'm tired today. Okay. Well, anyway, let me start the game. Okay. We're gonna do English. Okay. Let's turn that down. It should change in a couple of seconds. You'll have to let me know. Hi, Durgan. You didn't miss anything. Not yet. Just trying to set everything up. Okay. So it should have changed in about any second now. I'm just gonna turn my camera off because it's obviously not working. Is it? Oh, there it is.
Scan has completed. Warning, issues have been detected that need your immediate
My
attention.
computer hates
Click
me
on
today.
Start
Okay,
Repair
guys?
to fix
It's
these
just...
issues.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and do a voiceover for this thing. I started playing this game and I kind of really liked it. I was like, wait, I kind of want to see what it would look like if I streamed it. Probably won't look any cool, but yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'll just start. Okay. The sounds of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only things that light up our way. At times like this, one begs not to run out of battery. We walk without knowing what we really are looking for, or better yet, no reason. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives, trying to create lasting memory on this night, instead of staying home doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. 3 young men walk through the dark, but up until now, nothing special of course. Me being one of them. We're doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, one could say that it is a meaningless effort. For a moment, I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. This means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. By the way, welcome everyone. Sorry I sound kind of weird. I'm kind of sick, but yeah, I should really stream more. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we've had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return, I should tell him. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly, a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it wasn't going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from one second to the other. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at the moment. Bye, Jazzy! What is happening? I ask, confused while turning to look at my friends. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless, like statues, without making a noise. Just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What was happening? As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belonged to a human, or at least to a large animal. There's something strange about them. Okay. It sounds as if the person walked, dragged one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. Sorry, guys. Hold on, I'll try to turn up my volume more. I don't think I can go any. Yeah, sorry, I'll try. I guess I could turn on the music if that helps. Sorry. Um, the strange footstep. Oh, well, I missed that. Okay, I don't know where it is, but I know it's like looking at me. The cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friends seem unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal, said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would soon strike us again. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but our flashlights went out. Of the three, only one, mine, was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asked one of them, scared, while they both beat them desperately as if it was going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more the sound of our footsteps is heard. But the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking, desperate in the fear that evades us. Visibility is almost at zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back, looking for the exit, but I can't not remember anything of this forest. But we could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it's too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footsteps of someone or something. Once more, the three of us become statues, awaiting for the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn! Get away from here and leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they did not disappear, but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. 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 Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish it. What what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly I point to the same place only to discover that it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I heard something nearby. Without even thinking, I aimed the light towards that place. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It is a white cat with the eyes of intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest to say something. Somehow, I have a feeling it's a female cat. Suddenly, she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounds more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound even more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us. Sorry, I can't speak either. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close, and the fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen to me. So, it is a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it was October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel so nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went out from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. Ah. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We're still not old enough to go to the disco, and I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The only other option would be to go to a party, meet girls, and have fun. Everything perfect, except that no one has invited us. Not being popular really has its disadvantages. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called up my attention while playing with the game console. Rush Red. I believe that's what's the game's called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I didn't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I feel almost bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me, Stephen said with confidence. That you're playing on a normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred, I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo intellectual, always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them, he added later. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. A very fact is a small town with reason of it's full of mysteries. Do you know that 20 years ago on this date a man disappeared? So, what about it? I ask without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place, Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an ignorant gesture. This is a legend beyond the disappearance. This is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back to the computer screen with curiosity. Then that I noticed it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Town of Egberdon, Oxfordshire County, 1994. I came to town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life has I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense, but I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I have seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is, I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drunk alcohol but was still sober. At least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on his way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently he had walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say, stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended up in the clearing of the forest. And that's all. There was no evidence of a struggle, no other trace, or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints, or the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he vaporized into the air, with all his clothes, in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and become earth. In the end of the case, it was closed in just 3 days. No evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking of what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sort of theories. Like, maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew. But in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise, I found four more. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. And that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared 1867. Jason Black disappeared 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then that I discovered that it actually seemed to be simple and boring forest actually had a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. The word witch has a huge similarity with witch. Taking into consideration that it is the old name in the language changes over time, that indicates it was the forest of witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed that witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. They were stories told in voice, without properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today would continue to exist. Hold on. Sorry, I need a drink. Anyway, obviously, I cannot accept something like that as an answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them has escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hidden in this town. I said, honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Wait, there is something more, Alfred said in the same time he scrolls to the comments. We read what is written there. A couple of comments called our attention. Both of them talked about the some creature. At the time, they felt a horrible fear for what could have happened to them. Well, the two comments share great similarities. They could they bleh, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. I thought you could only read things that look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partially, yes. He admitted it, the secret that everybody silently knew. Well, well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said at the same time. He makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest, Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only need to look at his face to know that he did not like the idea. Welcome, little Alvarez. Pusheen is amazing, yeah. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course. It'd be like a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No, why would I be afraid? Answered Alfred. In the same time he folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you're afraid, Alfred. Almost as much when you have to talk to a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly Stephen asked me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he used. I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Oh, what happened, little Alvarez? Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We're going into the forest. Stephen said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. 2:13. I awake, completely confused, not knowing how much time has passed. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Let's save here. Ooh. Okay, okay, okay. No, I don't know what to do now. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's done for right now. I was quick 30 minutes. Oh, yeah. Uh, not really smart at this. I guess I go back. Okay, there we go. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I came back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Stephen, Alfred, can you hear me? Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark, while trying to find them with my flashlight. But there were no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? What the heck just happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit, we should have stayed at home. This is not proof of courage. We could be in danger. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. I have to find them. 2:19 a.m. Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends. I already can't stand this place. I'm going crazy in the forest. The darkness that covers it is unnatural. It is a darkness that steals away your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold as in winter, carrying a strong rot smell. As if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes it more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, it felt as if something was watching me. But there is nothing. I sigh, my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I continue with walking, devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I cannot even hear the sounds of animals. Rather, it seems that they are already dead and rotting. No, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathe deeply, but the rot and air of this place does me no good. Immediately I start to cough as if something is stuck in my throat. Sorry. Bad timing. Shit, shit, shit. What am I gonna do? This cursed forest seems endless. And even by a miracle I could escape. I cannot abandon Stephen and Alfred. I really screwed up. Again, I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, there's no doubt I will be joining the list of missing persons. In the end, I decide to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least, I was convinced that staying in the same place would not do me any good. Even if it was only to deceive myself feeling that I am doing something, I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard. Knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by a dead silence is good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. Suddenly, I hear a crack at my feet. Instantly, I take a step back to look below to see what made that sound. What is this? I whispered to myself, surprised, discovering that I have stepped on an animal bone. I believe that it's from an animal. Although I do not rule out the possibility it belongs to a person. But for my own good, I prefer not to think about that. For an expression of anguish is drawn on my face. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. Suddenly, my flashlight reveals something. Yeah, I want to say. Suddenly, my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. Dot, 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 dot. No, the kitty. Only to realize with the surprise that it is the white cat. The one before which made that awful meow. But this time I find it laying on the ground. It appears to be fainted and is wounded. Then what should I do? Hmm. Shall we ignore the cat? Or should we pick her up? I'll wait. And as soon as I see the first answer, we're doing it. Ignore the cat or pick her up. Hurry for the noises. Soon. Yeah. Excuse me, I need to give another water bottle. Yum yum. Helping the kitty it is. Help the kitty. It is best to continue without waking her. The cat is dangerous. It is her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. But even knowing that, for some reason I can't help but feel sorry for her. Even if it is unnatural, it is still an animal. Then I bend down to see her closer. She is unconscious and there is a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. I'm a real idiot, I said to myself. At the same time, I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had on me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. I then close her mouth, making her appearance a little better. Now she seems to be peacefully sleeping. Dot dot dot. After a long sigh, I decided to pick her up carefully. I don't know what powers of this cat are, but if she brought me here, maybe she can return me to my world. With her in my arms, I decided it's the best thing I can do to continue walking. Twelve 2:31 a.m. Again, I find myself in the dark forest, walking aimlessly. Only moving forward, but it didn't seem like I was getting anywhere. In my arms, I carry the cat, which sleeps soundly. God, I can't speak. Come here, you'll be safe. I suddenly stop. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at this moment. It's that voice again, I whispered to myself, which no one to listen to me. Shortly after I found the cat, a mysterious voice appeared in my head. It's a female voice, a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale, but I can't trust it. Am I really going crazy, or is this force that doesn't make sense? I don't know, but I don't really like the two options. Then I feel the cat move in my arms. I look down at her confused, just to see how she opens her red eyes suddenly. I become quiet at that instant. For For a moment, the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. The eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there is something fascinating about them, something that attracts me. I lose myself in her eyes, as if hypnotized, until suddenly she jumps with the intention of scratching my face. My reflex is pushing her. At the same time, I jump back, turning my head to dodge her claws. I managed to dodge her attack, but in the process I dropped my flashlight. I panic and acted clumsy. The flashlight falls near me, lighting up a tree in the vicinity. As soon as it left my hands, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick it up, not even thinking before taking action. I then light the place where the cat was, only to discover she had arched her body angrily, as if she feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stare at me, shining with the light of the flashlight as if they were jewels, reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before, but weaker. Although not any less frightening. There is no doubt that something is wrong with the animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. She must some she must be some kind of evil spirit, the pet of witches. I feel how the panic seizes me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead is covered with cold sweat. What should I do? Shall I escape from the cat or confront the cat? Hmm, what to do? I'm gonna confront the cat. No, I should not disappear. I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a deep breath and look again at her. Soon the expression in my eyes changes from fear to courage. I realize it is only a cat, without a doubt a strange one, but my life is not in any actual danger. That isn't a tiger staring at me, but a simple cat. Apparently her only power are those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out that possibility. Her work must be transporting the next victim to this area of the forest. So unnatural and shady. After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walk towards the cat. Her meows get louder with each step, but I don't let them scare me. Seeing that I do not turn back, she shyly takes a step back. In my mind, I smile at that image. The prey is now the hunter. I look at her directly without advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker, as if she was losing strength. Then I suddenly jump and take her into my hands. She hardly resists at all. Not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She is trembling in my hands. She looks so helpless that I almost feel like a victim. But I must not forget all that she has done so far. It's her fault that I'm in this place. She brought me here. Then if I kill her, would it not be possible to go back? For a moment that grim idea crossed my mind. I had never killed an animal. Truth is that I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. But if I do, maybe legend would end here and now. Then, what should I do? Maybe you guys can help me out. Should I keep her captured or kill her? I don't think I can kill the kitty. I can't kill the kitty. I can't kill the kitty. Gotta keep her captured. It is only logical. The magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. If If I kill her, everything would be over tonight and the legend would come to an end. Confident it was for the best, I tried to view it in my mind. No matter how hard I'd forced myself to see it, in the end I'm unable to take the life of another living being. Even if it is a cursed cat serving a witch, I don't really feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. So the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide that the best thing to do is continue on my path. 2:41 a.m. Hold on, I think my OBS messed up. I'll just deactivate my webcam since it wants to be stupid. Resize this. That looks weird. Okay. 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 It's been a few minutes since I've captured the cat. Again, I find myself walking with her in my arms, led by a strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently not enough to make me go mad, but it should be close. Don't be afraid. Come with me. I will help you. The voice sounds closer this time. It seems that I'm going in the right direction. I don't fully trust it in it being it's the best I have. At least at first glance, it seems like a friendly voice. I am completely focused on my way when I suddenly feel something bite me. Ah, ah, what the heck? I shout in pain, realizing that the cat bit my arm. Fortunately, it wasn't a dangerous bite, but it was sure painful. With my distraction, she takes a chance and jumps from my arms, falling a few steps away from me. Quickly, I set my gaze upon her, furious, but soon something happens that makes me forget about my anger. Suddenly, the cat is covered in a bright light, so much that it repels the unnatural darkness surrounding the forest, stealing my breath. Under the light, its figure gradually changes until it ceases to be a cat and becomes a human figure. Ooh. Oh, kawaii! No longer is there a cat in front of me, but a girl with incredible beauty. I really must be going crazy. She has white hair and red eyes. She seems about my age. In any other circumstances, I would have asked her out without hesitation. But thinking about it makes me laugh to myself in my mind. Even at the edge of madness, it seems some things about me will never change. She approaches me slowly. She approaches slowly towards me, one step at a time, with no fear. The girl then stares into my eyes with a slightly irritated face. Her lips are moving. She seems to be saying something, but I am unable to hear a sound. Are you trying to tell me something? I babbled, still confused with the face of disbelief which surely made me look stupid. Said a girl with a very low voice. I do not understand what she is saying. What? I can't hear you well, I asked, still confused. Suddenly the girl pouts in a bad mood. What's wrong with you? Are you deaf? Finally I could hear her clearly. And just in time because it seems her patience was about to end. Okay, now I can hear you, I said, annoyed. All of my astonishment from just a few seconds ago disappears when I see arrogant attitude of the girl. At least now I don't think she'll bite me. I hope. Then the girl snorts with irritation. What an annoying guy I had to find, she said at the time she places her hands on her lips, making a pensive face. Wait, you shouldn't speak ill of someone you have right before you, I was quick to respond. For a moment I feel annoyed at the thought I have to teach manners to this spirit or whatever she is. A pity, so much beauty wasted on someone so arrogant. The girl let out a snort of annoyance after hearing me. I'm sorry, it's a bad habit that I can't quit, she answered without sounding very repentant, clearly a false apology. After talking, she diverts her gaze towards the surroundings as if she was bored. I see, I replied, annoyed. I just met her and I already feel like I don't like her. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I must not forget who this girl is. She was the cat that started it all. Anyway, at least you could tell me why you attacked me and my friends, I asked shortly after, acting more seriously. The greetings were over. It's time to get to the more important stuff. And why did you bite me if I wasn't doing anything? Before I knew it, my lips asked another question. I cannot lie. I was very angry. The girl then stares at my face. She blinks with curiosity before speaking. Does it hurt? The wound? She asked innocently. Yes. I was quick to respond with annoyance. I didn't need to say more. Of course it hurts me, silly cat. She looks at me in silence for a few seconds until suddenly she approaches me without any shyness or fear. On second thought, how could a simple human such as me scare a cat that could turn into a person? Show me your wound, said the girl once she stood right next to me. Her presence makes me nervous. This girl seemed to not know what personal space is. As embarrassing as it sounds, I have never had a girl this close, if it wasn't in this forest. Yeah. I don't know why. I shouldn't trust her, but strangely, something tells me she has no bad intentions. The girl is surrounded by a calm aura, something pure, unlike anything else in the forest. In the end, resigning myself with a sigh, I show her my arm with the bite. Immediately, the girl sets her sight on my wound. It'll only take a moment, she said with complete confidence. Then she looks up into my eyes. Could you close your eyes? She asks as she blushes slightly. I am surprised to see that embarrassed face she has, even if it's just a little. Then I sigh, feeling something wasn't right, but there was nothing else I could do. Okay, I said, doing as she asked. I don't know what to expect. For a moment I thought she was gonna get naked or something like that. But what kind of magic can work only when you have no clothes? I don't know, but my mind sure wanted to imagine that. Come on, Axel, keep your composure. Suddenly I feel something warm and wet touch my wound. Immediately I shudder. Wait, what are you doing? It was a stupid question, because I knew well what she was doing. She was licking my wound. You idiot! Who said you could watch? Was quick to respond the cat. With her cheeks red in embarrassment and her lips still close to my wound, she looked adorably troubled. Don't you see I'm just trying to heal you? She then added in a bad mood. Sorry, I said, blushing. I thought you would do something more extraordinary. Now I'm not sure. Is she a girl who transformed into a cat, or a cat that can become a girl? Sorry to disappoint you for not being extraordinary enough, murmured the girl at the same time she gives me an annoyed look. Whoa, that was weird. Oh no. I don't know how to go back. Damn. It skipped a bunch of bases. Okay. But of course, I have often experienced healing myself. Yeah. Damn. Okay, well, it's been over an hour and my throat is killing me. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end you guys. My throat is killing me, and I wasn't planning on streaming for this long. Thanks for watching, and hopefully, when I feel better, I can stream some more. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye. If I can close that OBS in time. Bye, guys. Um, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.